Whatever's easier to set up. I don't think we need it very loud, just loud enough to hear for people in here. So I don't.
Um, you have me. I don't. My voice does not carry. Especially when you talk.
Oh yeah.
How goes it? The newsletter.
Yes.
Take your word for it. Oh, oh, you changed it. Good.
What?
Changed it. Good.
Oh no, I just
I
I had
entered.
told people to just send me all the slides and I'll just put them in this.
Erica said her work has been on wheels. My life has been on wheels.
Oh, that's awkward because I think we were paying for it, but if we don't get it back, it's fine. If we don't, I think we're small enough and I'm loud enough. Yes. No, the rest of yeah.
Oh, I need a thing.
Yeah, you need a button. How's anyone supposed to know that you're involved with who is that random man at the computer?
Zero viewers. We peaked at 2.
We've gone wild.
Yes. Exactly. Exactly. There's lots of this.
Yes. So, we say take it. Everything is something that they're
Yeah. Yeah. Specific. And then
So it's selling now.
We had some extras from our Easter.
he is
They're so nice and
so
Easter.
the first light just happened there. Yeah.
Did you there's some extra piece of it? I'll go, let's make it some, your deal.
Because I think this was the last one. Yeah.
Somebody, it's not.
Yeah. Me too.
The most prudish conflict.
What's that tea or coffee or? By the time I get to my coffee or tea, it's always been back.
All boiled coffee is like heated, but.
Yes.
Constituencies.
Michael,
Yeah.
do you have the information from Erica to do a communications report?
Yeah, I put it all in.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
I don't have anything for, but if you want to talk about it, but it doesn't matter. I don't have a slide for it, but if you want to talk about it, somebody can talk about it.
Yeah, it's more or less kind of like, oh, I mean, last year I just saw, and I was like, yeah, we exist, it happens, it's fun. I don't think this is more like, and even just saying, we also have Instagram in the report. It's just fine. And I got stuff out of the report on Instagram. We have grown by almost 100 followers, but I mean, it's more or less just an extension of the Facebook, right? Like,
Okay.
while we're talking about Facebook, I mean, we also have an Instagram. Woo! Yeah, like, and that's pretty much, it, that's pretty much. The only thing that's different in the Instagram was when I put it on the people that did it last year, which was all reported on, so they called it 4 of the 18 last year, was that they had 25 views. Yeah, the zombie views. Highlighted my social media. So yeah, just letting people know that it exists.
Viral status
Perfect.
achieved.
Yeah, exactly. We've gone viral. We're done.
Yeah, we've all got COVID.
Yeah, right. No, I was just saying in regards to the Instagram, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
more or less just saying that we right? I don't really have a report. Nothing really different happening
No.
on Instagram and Facebook aside from a few stories. It's just the extension, really.
Yeah. So many people like it.
We've grown 100 followers.
So there you go.
Question for any tech savvy people: do you want to like log into the the Facebook stream and see if we can hear?
Oh yeah, I'm
Oh,
here now.
that's
I'm
a
here now.
good
Actually.
Well,
idea.
just like do some speak into the microphone.
Yeah, you can hear.
Do you want me to speak
Yeah.
into
Yeah,
the
sure.
microphone? No.
Yep. Keep going.
Okay.
Mic checks.
Sorry, this is a mic check, just to see whether
Oh.
Matt can hear me.
Keep going. Just keep talking.
All right.
Oh.
What? Can we hear you?
Yeah.
Yay, okay.
Okay.
You're good. Four viewers. Doubled our count since the initial launch. Here comes Brandon.
Oh, well, anyways, since there's a microphone. We'll. Hi. All right, we'll get started in a couple of minutes, so if you haven't had something to nibble on, please get a drink and a bit of a treat and, sit down, and we'll get started as soon as possible. Yeah, sadly. There's Briar. Briar, sign in. Oh. And make sure you get a raffle door prize ticket. All right, then go in. There we go. Go ahead. Work. All right. Thank you all for coming. If you want to take a seat, that would be great, and we can get started. I'll just quickly introduce myself. My name is Kathy Simonson, and I'm currently the chair of the Church's 10 Neighborhood Association. And several other board members are here, so I'll just quickly introduce them before we get started. Gives people a chance to sit down. So sitting at the table in front is Michael McMullen, who's our secretary and tech dude. Behind him, the front row, we have Matt Fancy and Evan Gray. Our treasurer, Alan Goulding, Allison Caps, just arrived, very good. Here, Nina Quinton, over there, Jordan Collier, Tom Jackman, and Annette Manning. And Elizabeth Oliver.
She was here just.
Left briefly, I think she.
Okay, has disappeared. Anyway, so again, thank you very much for coming, and we'll get started with the basic business. So hopefully you picked up a copy of the agenda and our financial statements. We'll begin with an approval of the agenda for the meeting tonight. If there's someone who'd like to move the approval, thank you, Patrick Henlon. And here comes Elizabeth. Elizabeth is back. There we go. Is there someone willing to second the agenda? Thank you, Allison. Allison Cass. You're making notes?
Recording.
Oh, is it recording? Oh, cool. Are there any additions to the agenda or any changes? Alrighty, seeing none, I'll call the question. So all in favor of the agenda as it currently stands? Thank you very much. The second item is the approval of the minutes of the annual general meeting of October 8th, 2024.
Oh, what do you want me to do?
Show the minutes.
Oh, I did not prepare that. One moment.
Because otherwise it's challenging. Just trust us, they were great. They were awesome.
I could probably run us through it. So this is zombies, and we talk about how successful it was. How our neighborhood is so great,
It's true. And the parking is a problem.
and the parking is sometimes a problem.
There, the minutes from last year.
Okay. There we go. All right. So
Oh, right.
this.
Thank you, Nina, for this last year.
No.
Maybe.
Okay. So these appear to be the minutes from last year.
I believe I did not record them, but I took a video last year. That was my minutes. And I think you
I think I did it last year.
did something, and maybe this is what you sent me. Maybe. No, that's what I have. I thought it was too, but I did not prepare to give the minutes in this presentation. So I do not have them on my computer.
Ouch.
Oh, I'm back. that quickly, so.
Well, it's good that you have the text already. That's good.
I thought you were just going to print them to give out to people.
Yes, but I didn't have them.
Oh, I thought I gave them to you, but I don't have them on this computer.
I asked you to send them this morning, and of course, I know I didn't get them.
Well, I didn't get that, so I don't have them, so there's nothing I can do about it now.
All right.
Go back-
Well, we
So-
can read it.
back to the minute.
We can work our way through this. So this is a transcript of what happened at the meeting last year. So if you please, just, I can read it over,
Do you want like the chair's report from last year? I have
no,
that.
no, the meeting, the minutes of the meeting. I don't need the chair's report.
Well, I think this is pretty good, right? So it's like we started off and you delivered the chair's report of how we were very successful in our outdoor barbecue. And we thanked all our volunteers. And Alan is always so good. He is very detailed in all of his treasurer reports. And last year in our minutes, we did do the 50-50. We realized that wasn't our best option, that we did better with just straight raffle, I think. And the Lantern always is really kind. They always donate chairs and they donate tables to our barbecue. And of course, we moved the approval of the report. And Elizabeth delivered the advocacy report. And they were talking about gosh, that was amazing, like the tree removal on Monkstown. And then we had some tents in Davies Field. And of course, there's been the pathway to the Basilica and the gate closing. And we had a talk with, I think the sisters were present. They had a person who was there. And I'm trying to remember.
John Abbott was there.
Yes, and John Abbott was also, and they listened to our concern. And at that point, we had an open discussion. And normally, I'm the person who then moderates. And so our main concerns during that time were parking and, of course, just kind of the safety of the neighborhood and just kind of how we can work in conjunction with the gathering place and other stakeholders. And so we could go ahead and work together to make sure that all went forward. So that's what I remember, and that's kind of what it does say. But I will say, you know, if anybody else remembers something else we talked about, we could definitely, you can add into it. Patrick, you're always here. Do you remember anything different?
That looks good to me.
I mean, it really does. I mean, I know it's not the best, but I do think that it is a pretty accurate depiction of what we talked about last year and normally what we talk about. Like, those are always our concerns. So I feel like we circled back around. And Briar, were you here last year?
I remember Donald Trump coming.
No, he was definitely not here. No, that did not. But
It's in the other room, too.
yeah.
The only thing I see missing that could be important is who was selected.
Oh, yes, and we did have some new board members,
No, we
right?
didn't actually.
Yeah.
We didn't have any new board.
We had no, oh, gosh. So we just carried on over.
We just everybody.
We had two people step aside.
That's what it was.
And-
There was a change, but it was the two people stepping aside.
You want that
So
to have.
for what it's worth, is there someone willing to move the adoption of the minutes?
For the Belvedere Lane.
This
Thank you, Patrick, and seconded by Briar Smith.
We
Thank you.
appreciate your support.
Is there any further discussion? Okay, I'll call the question. So all in favor of the minutes?
As we remember them.
Thank you. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you. In terms of business arising, I don't think there is, simply because so much that is there returns again this year. So we'll just turn to the various reports. So we begin with the chair's report. So briefly, in the year since the last annual general meeting, the GNA has continued to run its traditional events. This year started with our skating party at St. Bon's Forum. We held our spring cleanup on May 31st this year, which is a bit earlier than usual, about 2 weeks earlier than usual, but we were very happy with the great turnout. In July, we held the flea market and barbecue, and carried on with the experiment of extending the flea market by an extra hour, which was more successful this year than last because we actually got our advertising coordinated and agreed that it was going until 1 o'clock on all our publicity, as opposed to last year where we weren't sure when we were finishing. The barbecue was better attended than last year, which was nice, and the whole event raised a few $100s, which will help us run our events next year. As this year was an election year, we hosted an all-candidates meeting for the candidates who are running in Ward 2 on September 16th, and apologies to those of you who live in Ward 4. 5 of the 6 candidates were able to attend, and the number of people who came to listen simply amazed us. The room was basically full. It was. All the seats were full, and we had to put out more. It was amazing. It was wonderful. I wish they were here now. The fall cleanup took place on October 4th, and again, the turnout was quite good, and a decent amount of trash went off to the dump. We are very happy to report that a bunch of zombies did indeed dance through the neighborhood on Halloween, and their visit raised over $500 for the neighborhood dance works. So thank you all for your generosity. If you donated on the evening by putting money into one of the baskets or donated online. That's a great amount for neighborhood dance works. It was fantastic.
Kathy, is that a lot more than was raised in the past?
Yes.
It sounds like a lot.
Yes, there was. Yeah, there was. They raised at least 470 online, and then there was additional.
Wow.
And then there was. What did we raise in?
160
in person, yeah. So actually, it's getting closer to $600 at that point.
So just out of curiosity, the online money, people said, I saw you at Georgetown and I'm giving you money.
Yeah, I think they have, my impression from what Erica told us is that they have different lines for the different events. So that was the Georgetown dance that got that much.
And all the other people.
Yeah.
To Georgetown.
Yes.
On Halloween night.
And finally, we'll just to warn you all or to encourage you all, the skating party this year, well, it isn't this year, it'll be next year. The next main event after the AGM is the New Year's skating party, which will be on January 3rd, again at St. Bon's Forum. So dust out your skates, and it's from 2 to 4 at St. Bon's Forum on January 3rd. So.
What day of the week is that?
I think it's this Saturday, yeah.
So it's, yes, yeah, anyway. So none of these events could happen without the help of the volunteers who turn out to make them happen. And we really appreciate those of you who do turn out every year to help us pick up the trash or run the flea market or prevent small children from burning themselves on barbecues. It's always good. It is the willingness of our neighbors to help out that makes it possible for the GNA to do anything. So thank you all for everything that you do. I also want to thank the members of this year's board, whom I've already introduced, but we can go through again. So Allison Cass, Jordan Collier, Matt Fancy, Alan Goulding, Evan Gray, Tom Jackman, Michael McMullen, Annette Manning, Elizabeth Oliver, Erica Pittman, and Nina Quinton. We might not be able to do anything at all without our volunteers, but we really would not get anything done without these board members. Both Annette and Nina are leaving the board this year, and we will miss them both very much. We wish them the best with all that they are planning to do once they're free of this board. Sorry, that came up wrong. Anyway, so if you think that you would like to join the board and help us make Georgetown a great place to live, please stand for election later this evening. You will be most welcome. We meet on the first Thursday of the month at 7:30. Yes, indeed, we've actually shifted from our traditional Tuesday time slot I can't believe that you didn't hear the earthquake that accompanied that shift. And we have been meeting online since the start of the pandemic, which, as far as we're concerned, hasn't finished yet, as far as that's concerned. And so you don't even have to leave the comforts of your home. All you need is just to tune in. So thank you. Oh, I also want to thank the First Light Center because they donated their cake and tea to us as they were having a big celebration here before we came in, and we're very grateful for the extra goodies. So thank you all for coming, and we can now turn, unless you have any questions. Sorry. That's rude.
We're so thorough, so we don't have any questions.
We should now turn to the treasurer's report. So if I could ask Alan Goulding to come up and present the treasurer's report.
Thank you, Kathy.
Oh, there it is.
I have, so just to see, because you haven't never seen these slides before, I have this and this.
Okay, good, all right, so I got the first one there.
Yeah.
So, it always feels like old news because our fiscal year ends April 30th. And so this is really for the year April 30th of 2024 to 2025. So it's already 6 months old. But here's how our finances sound for that fiscal year. Our big event, of course, is the flea market and the barbecue. We raised $700 there, 703. And we have a raffle basket there for raised 500, almost right to those. And we have a city grant. We've been applying for it ever since the pandemic, and things have changed a little bit. We've been applying for that, and we've been successful with that. So that's our main source of revenue, and also at the skating event. So 1,834 revenue for that year. The expenses, it's room for an AGM. Flea market. They're usually what happens with the flea market, which is kind of surprising. We collect all these things, the people donate, we sell them, and we buy things, food and such, and we have all these expenses. And things that we sell at the flea market that day usually sort of pay for the expenses for the day. We couldn't have planned it much better this year. $702 in expenses, $703 raised at the flea market table. So that worked out really well.
On the extra mug, you know, blow it up.
Maybe you should talk to the Minister of Finance and show me.
Yeah, exactly. This is the closest balanced budget we've had. So a little, $100. So this is the closest one. Could have planned it much better. Other expenses. Trivia night this year. That was really well done, I think. Or that year. That was from last year. What else we got here? And a few minor expenses. Yeah, clean up all the juice box things for the kids, stuff like that. Our internet costs, bank charges, and skating, of course, the other big line item for our year. So for the full year, we end up actually a little bit on the plus side, $237, $238 in the positive. Of course, that's all old news too. We've already gone 6 months into this year. We've already passed the big event, the barbecue. So if we flip to the next one, and so this is kind of a mid-year report, first 6 months of the year. And you'll see here now that our flea market revenue was a bit higher this year, and our expenses were lower. So we actually paid money on the flea market, more so than the previous year. Raffle was a little bit less, but that's okay. And numbers in italics are not yet happened yet, so we haven't applied for the grant, and hopefully we'll get it again. And skating, who knows what people pay at the door. So, it depends on how aggressive we are with soliciting funds. And then here again for the expenses, flea market is already done for the year. Most of the other things are in donations, cleanup costs, Skating we haven't paid for yet. Anyway, it looks like we're gonna come pretty close to the balanced budget this year. Yeah, assuming we get $500 rent and all our expenses are lined up. And there's not many other expenses that show up. So, that's my report.
Thank you, Ellen.
The seating is pay what you can?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, I can't remember, do we do a suggested, do you do a suggested amount?
It is,
Yes.
we've had a minimal charge, $2 at the door. Oftentimes people just come on in anyway and don't even bother putting anything in. It's almost, none, it's almost seemed like a token amount. So pay what you can, tended to get a little bit more. But the thing is, we're not, probably could do a little better job of encouraging people to pay at the door. If we don't do that, we also raise things for food bank. And some people, I think, have the impression that food bank donation is admission to skating. It's okay by me too, but it'd be nice to have both.
And what, I thought, Happy Cities or, help pay for most of the stuff at the cleanup. What are the expenses incurred?
The expenses are mostly just for food and treats for the attendees, right? So yeah, the granola bars and the juice box stuff.
Happy City helped pay for the candidates meeting. They don't. Oh, you're confusing with Clean St. John with
Yeah.
the St. So for the cleanup, we get the garbage bags.
Oh, okay.
So and the garbage pickup.
Right.
And the fact that we then chip in granola bars and pop is out of our pocket. The city, well, Clean St. John's used to chip in prizes as well, but they haven't done that for a number of years. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna mention too, that because the all candidates debate,
Yes.
and you didn't see that there in the numbers because, although we hosted it, Happy City paid for it. So it was just money in, money out. So you need a net zero on the bottom line. And similarly with the zombie, we just collect the money and then we pass it on out to the different dance works. Okay, so I'll make a motion to accept the treasurer's report.
We have a seconder, Nina Whitman. Are there any further questions for Alan? Okay, in that case, we'll call the question. So all in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Super, thank you very much. The next, thank you, Ellen, as always. The next report is okay, advocacy report.
I don't know wherever she is
She's right
wants to say anything, but if you have something, now is your chance.
No.
I'm not gonna talk a lot about what we did this year because like,
I can't hear you.
is this?
Yeah.
It is, you just hold it.
Yeah.
I know my voice does not carry very well, so if I fade off, yell again. I was starting to say, I'm not going to talk very much about what we did this year in the advocacy committee. Am I audible?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah, thanks.
Because Kathy and Alan have pretty much covered it. The one big thing we did was the candidates event, which was paid for by Happy City. Happy City was really pleased with the turnout. The Happy City did, I think, 4 different events, and ours was, in terms of numbers, the best. We were really happy, really pleased with that. It is, I think, something that Happy City is going to try and continue in the years to come, not just with Georgetown, but with other neighborhood associations. So, the 2 things I wanted to talk about are, one is the gathering place, what the gathering place means to the city, what it means to this community, this neighborhood. The gathering place has been put into a position of, instead of being a safety valve supporting the problems with poverty and homelessness and drug addiction and that whole gamut of interlocking issues. It's been put in a position of being almost the backbone of the structure for this town. It's more than the gathering place ever wanted to do. It's more than the gathering place can do. And there are repercussions from that, which are beginning to affect this neighborhood and a lot of other neighborhoods. Of many neighborhoods in St. John's, this one is probably one of the least affected, except for some areas right really, really close to the gathering place. Other areas have a much harder time with it. It's a big problem. What we've got is we have a situation where municipal and provincial and to some extent federal governments are downloading necessary services onto small groups, neighborhood associations, and charitable organizations like the Gathering Place, and they have created an untenable situation. Now, I don't know what we as a neighborhood group can do about that, except keep putting the pressure on municipal government, provincial government, federal government. I don't think, we can talk about it later when we get to open questions, but I think that it is probably one of the most significant problems that we are facing in this neighborhood. And there is a related, in some ways, more not so important, maybe almost trivial problem, and that's what's happening to our public spaces in this neighborhood. I'm thinking particularly of the laneways and the green spaces on the interior blocks. They are under pressure. Some of the pressure is a direct result of what's happening with the Gathering Place. And again, this whole enormous complex of problems around poverty and drug addiction, mental health. But we've seen in the past little while, we've already mentioned this last year, but we mentioned what happened at the pathway between this facility and Basilica. There was an issue about somebody wanting to close off a laneway so that you could park a car in it. And now, more recently, there's been some discussion of putting some kind of barricades up in Davis Field. I don't know the details here. I think it may only be against vehicular traffic, but I'm not sure. As a neighborhood association, we can't actually start looking at these separate places one at a time and trying to figure out what to do with them. That's not our job, and it shouldn't be our job. We can, however, cooperate with the city, which needs to develop comprehensive policy about what it's going to do about these things, and stop looking at them on an ad hoc one-by-one basis. We have a lot of information we can share, both about how the laneways are used for good and how they're used for bad. So, the main thing I'm asking, I think, of governments, particularly municipal, is to start working with organizations like this to solve some of the problems that are happening in the city. And what I'm asking this organization and the people in it to really think hard about what we can do to make this little chunk of St. John's, which we all love, even better. Thank you.
Are there any questions for Elizabeth? I suppose it could be part, but unless there's a specific question for Elizabeth.
I don't see anything.
I don't see any. All right. Communications report.
It's me.
Do you need me to move?
Yes,
that?
I need you to arrow key for me.
Arrow key. Point to me and I'll arrow key.
Hello, everyone. My name is Michael. I'm one half of the communications community, but even though there's only two real official communications committee members. Everyone is sort of having a hand in sort of helping the communications aspects of the Georgetown neighborhood. So the other half would be Erica. She couldn't make it here tonight. She wasn't feeling well, so I'm going to try my best to try and incorporate all of her vast knowledge and Facebook wizardry skills into this presentation. So why we do it? To provide information to all of the community members, to encourage engagement amongst the community, and to try and create a sense of community amongst everyone, and to engender pride in the neighborhood. Yeah, so how's it working? It's trending upward. That's great news. Although plus 15% may sound like a lot, and 1,200 to 1,350 may sound like a lot, but it's probably more or less standard for people that come in and out of the neighborhood over the course of the year. And we just continually will be adding new people as they come in. And the old people will probably still remain followers, but they may not even be in the neighborhood anymore. So generally this never goes down, but it only goes up. So I guess, yeah, that shows you at least something. Yes, we can. So yeah, here's a little snapshot of the top post this year. We can see that Pickle was our #1 contributor to being lost and also being found throughout the year. So he's a neighborhood cat, so he has been lost, I think, many times. But if you're unfamiliar, yes, he was. Again? Yeah, again, yes. Yeah, so you continue on. So yeah, for Facebook, primary engagement channel, followers are up 22%-ish over the year. So that's, yeah, up to 1,300, as I mentioned before. Yeah, cats and community continue to be the main areas of interest.
It's true.
Where is Pickle? Last year's #1 post, and 15,000 views. With the St. John's sign going to Bannerman Park, close second with 13,000. So I don't know if you remember that, but the city of St. John's was trying to put the giant neon sign in the middle of Bannerman Park, and there was a lot of. Sorry, yeah.
We don't know what happened to that.
But a lot of communication happened around that. So yeah. The request for input on Rennisville neighborhood plan was third.
Okay.
Continuing. Newsletter. Yes, we are slowly getting ramped up again for the newsletter, but we need more volunteers like you folks to help us do stories for the newsletter and create the content so that we can post it out to our followers. We try to provide updates for the upcoming events, hopefully in a timely manner. And as always, we are looking for feedback. Do you want more interviews with unique neighbors in the neighborhood if they're willing, or more pet features, which are always a key thing?
It has always been a popular thing.
Or perhaps something new, and you can let me or Erica know, and we can start investigating those things. But yeah, please engage with us. We'd love to hear from you. Send us courtesy posts, ideas for social media channels, newsletter, and help us engage and build community connections and communication. Yes. Yeah, so next steps. We are currently in the process of developing new branding for the Georgetown Neighborhood Association. I don't know if you've noticed, but some of our iconography, I guess, and sort of selfie picture posts, logos that are on our Facebook page have been updated recently, but those aren't set in stone, but we're actively looking for talented artists. And if you know or are one, then please reach out to us. We'd love to try and work out something new with somebody in the community.
Mm-hmm.
Going forward, we'd also want to start making local community swag for the area, t-shirts, hats, and bags. So if you have any ideas for that, we'd love to hear about it. And we'd love to know if you'd be interested in wearing some sort of neighborhood pride.
I would.
Yes. I think that might be
Yeah, I think that was it.
for me. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, wait, you gotta ask for questions,
Oh, questions and
Yeah. Comments,
concerns.
suggestions?
Oh, here comes Patrick.
One thing that annoys me, a lot of people just don't get the memos from the city when it comes to garbage being canceled and things like that. And I know we do a good job in promoting that on our Facebook pages. But there's so many people that just don't even see it in the news or on the radio or anything like that. Is there anything that we can get the city? I'm looking at Sheila, sorry. Anything we can do with the city
No, thank you.
in order to try to get more people signed up to the email alerts? Is there something that we can do as a neighborhood? Put a flyer out in every single mailbox to say, hey, this service is available for you.
Yeah.
Sign up to the city page. Like, we need to do something in the way of letting them know how to get the message.
yeah, other than us like copy and pasting what we get in our automated emails, just attaching it to the Facebook posts, being like, you can get this information here if you just sign
Yeah,
up
but for
for
people
stuff.
who are not, like, there's what, 1,500 people on our Facebook page?
Yeah.
And this neighborhood has, what, there's 600 houses, so you can say, 1,200 people. So you take out the people who moved out of the neighborhood, so half the neighborhood is not getting the messages. All right.
Well, we certainly be used to, every once a year, put something like that up on Facebook. I would suggest from just before the snow starts.
Well, I think, yeah, sorry, Erin.
I was gonna say, I have friends who the city knows directly and they are advised that they, frankly, from the city,
Yes,
so.
yes. Well, you can sign up for the email, yeah.
But if people don't know the email service exists.
Yes, no,
Yeah,
you're
but
right.
like, we can definitely attach that, I mean, anytime we're like notifying people of like street clearing or garbage has been delayed, we can just, yeah.
I know.
Yes,
But I think what Patrick is saying,
What I'm trying to say is,
People
how do
don't
we
sign-
get to the people that
Yeah.
don't have
Yeah.
that don't have the app, that don't have the email, that don't know about it, that don't,
Yeah.
like, I'm thinking of flyer in the mailbox that's direct people to this website.
I have,
Something in the way of outreach to
Yeah.
people who are not already signed up to a list.
and it's super annoying, but I mean, one idea, because I think us giving, a flyer in everybody's mailbox, maybe that's not our first choice right now, but could we do like a flyer on on polls for a while, or put one in the bakery? Because it seems like everyone goes to the bakery, and you could say, no now, tell your neighbors, something
So-
like that. But I mean, I feel like that
Well-
could be something we could
Yes. I mean,
maybe possibly do, y'all could do, so.
Yes, it's not, we have reduced the number of flyers that we put out for a variety of reasons. But one thing we can do is if we do put out a flyer, which we do for the flea market often, is to add the information, hey, if you're reading this, are you signed up for the app or for the email thing? Yeah, with the city. I mean, that's
Just every little bit of help.
yeah, no, and if it gets 5 people more, then it's 5 more people who are not putting their garbage out. Alan, sorry.
I was just gonna say that the city does that. The city guide comes in quarterly.
I know,
All has information like that.
that
So,
depends on,
It's one note in a 10-page book.
I know.
Yeah, so,
That's the problem. Like, it needs to be highlighted more from the city.
yeah.
good point, good point.
And street cleaning and snow removal and.
Yeah,
I mean, it is really important because the winds are so high that I worry that all this garbage ends up in the ocean, and that really sucks. So,
yes,
I live in Ward 2, obviously, and I know that some of my neighbors aren't on yet because just their age. I'm not trying to be ageist, but I know some of them aren't. We talk to each other, and I'll scream across the street and say, garbage today, or they might actually tell me, and so we do that.
Yeah.
Because
Start yelling at
it's.
people.
There's a bunch of reasons. There's a bunch of reasons why we don't put paper out in mailboxes, for anyone that loves trees. And sort of we're trying to minimize that and sort of finding other ways to communicate. I love speaking to my neighbors. And if I have to scream at them over traffic, I do. And say no garbage today, but we also know that we have rain and wind events a lot. That's our sort of climate due to climate change that we're experiencing. And when we get, whoever we're listening to on CBC or NTV, we're gonna have a wind event, then okay, you have a heads up. And then we start asking neighbors, or you do go on to the city site at that time. And, they come out with a lot of information.
Yeah.
Maybe
Like
West
West
End could be doing too.
Hmm?
When they report the weather, maybe, or, the forecast, they could be saying, check, make sure you're.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they
I say
could sort of remind people to say, check for garbage, you don't want your garbage blowing around at all, for sure. Ours was canceled last week, right?
Does CBC normally talk about that?
They often
The morning
do.
show does.
Not always, but they often do. We'll say, oh, look, we've got a notice that it's been canceled.
Sometimes.
Yeah, not always.
I mean, maybe not always, but like probably most of y'all like, I'm up at 6 o'clock or earlier and like, I hear it multiple times before I get to school at 8. So, I mean, I've heard it like 3 times before 8 o'clock.
Nina, do you hear it on CBC?
Yeah, I hear it on the morning show.
And the other bit that I think the city can do, when it comes to street cleaning, and the notices are put out, or it's on the city, you can look months in advance for street cleaning. But once again, people don't bother looking or don't know.
Oh, yeah.
So the city can, I know when it's street cleaning time, I actually put a little note in every mailbox on my block. And then that evening, I'll knock on every door, because, people's cars and just, right?
Mhm.
Of the 3 street cleaning times, I was successful only once in having the cars gone off the street.
Yep.
So one thing that the city can do, and I mean, we do it really well, including on Facebook, but like the street cleaning notifications that the city puts out, or the snow clearing notifications. When it comes to garbage, you can enter your email address, your mailing address, and you get super specific notices when it comes to garbage for your street. The city should be doing the same thing for snow clearing and street cleaning.
That would actually be really cool if you knew.
They do it for garbage.
Yeah, if you knew, but garbage is really predictable. Snow clearing is probably pretty unpredictable, but street cleaning might be really predictable. So I put my address in, and it might be 3 weeks from the day or even a month, but at least I will know it.
And then the day of or the day before, you get an email or an app notification.
We could cycle back to this when we
Yeah.
come to the discussion period. Are there any specific questions for Michael? Great.
All right, Michael.
Thank you, Michael.
Thanks, Michael.
Thank you especially for all of you and Erica. And I would you point out that Matt deals with the Instagram. Matt, yay.
Oh, yeah. We're growing.
So if you like Instagram, go there.
Community building, we don't have.
It seemed not. Yeah, it was on the agenda, but
It
There you go.
got jumped.
we got jumped.
Yeah.
What is it? Community?
Community building.
Oh, they didn't have, I have no slides for that.
I mean, I think Kathy, technically, you've gone over all our
Yes,
major events, and so,
Possibly my fault, I think.
no, I doubt it.
Anyway, I think we can just move on to item number 5. Most of the community building we actually covered between my report and Elizabeth's, to be honest with you. But if you want me to go over what we did again.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it didn't happen, did it? Anyway, nomination and election of officers. So at this point, I'm going to turn the chair of the meeting over to Briar Smith, Dr. Smith, who, yeah, there you go. who will take it over and,
Always
run the
forgets
election.
what to do, and even though she's done this 3 years in a row now, I think.
Briar,
Jordan,
before you start, could I do my little spiel that I do every year?
Yes,
You'll
please.
probably know it. Okay, so I am stepping down. It's just because I'm having a lot of things in my life. But I just want to say, if you have any idea that you would like to be part of this community, it's really fun and it's really easy.
okay.
And you get to work with really great people. I highly suggest. Or if you know someone, I know they're not here and they want to be more of a volunteer, I mean, send them our way because it is fantastic. You get to know your community, you get to meet all different types of neighbors, not just people right next to you. And every single time I do the skating party, every single time I've gone to the flea market, it just feels so good to be part of our community. So it may not be in your wheelhouse right now, but if you are even thinking about it, I highly suggest putting your name in to be a board candidate. Or if not, we really want you as a volunteer and pass the word because it's a great community. I mean, technically, I live adjacent to the community and I was still on the board because I was like, it's so great. So it's like, I know. But it's like, I'm stepping away, but I already told them, I was like, I'll be here for the skating party. Definitely call me for, other events because I love this community and it really makes it feel like home. So I challenge you to run. That's it. Okay.
Okay, so basically, there's room for, 14 people, and currently there are 20, tell everyone's name?
Yes.
Yes, okay, all right, so, the people who are on the board and are remaining on the board.
Or offering to continue.
So, or what?
Offering to continue.
Oh.
Could be put it off.
We're not gonna vote for them. Okay, so.
You never know.
Maybe actually, like, no, just kidding. Allison Cass, Matt Fancy, Alan Goulding, Evan Gray, Tom Jackman, Mike McMillan, Elizabeth Oliver, Erica Pittman, Kathy Simonson, and Jordan Collier have all agreed to stay on the board. Sadly, Annette and Nina are leaving. So that leaves,
You read it really fast.
what, you need that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So let's make
So-
sure he spells
So
everything.
Spells
I
everything
said
right.
There's room for 14, and 2 are leaving, so there's room for two more people.
So a total of 4.
Right?
So we were 12 this past year, and 2 are leaving, so there are four vacancies before we have to have a vote.
Okay, 4 vacancies. So, are there any nominations from the floor? Are people allowed to volunteer themselves?
Yes, you
You
do
can
totally
nominate
volunteer yourself.
Oh, excellent. Okay, wonderful.
So Nicholas Keo.
Nicholas Keel.
Is it?
Okay,
is it
he's
changed
just,
in
I think
those
we have to
meetings?
give him a minute, a second to put everything in. Oh, you're there, you caught up
I
on
think
it.
so.
You already caught up.
Oh, people don't get last names.
No, because I don't want to embarrass myself by trying to spell everyone's last name. I will get those details later.
Okay,
Who? Oh,
No, H, Nicholas?
An H was Nicholas.
okay.
While you're in there, Mike, my name is misspelled. It's a single L. Yeah, thank you.
To be fair, I.
and I tried, it still failed.
He's taking it off the sheet.
No, it was right on the sheet.
Yeah.
No,
And then I'll see if it's on the list. if he's on it.
All right, yeah.
Here, I know. What was the next?
Oh, Alan, there we go. Alan, I think is 2 L's.
Can't see what numbers.
Is that everyone?
It was just one new?
Nicholas is new.
Yeah,
Now we have to ask anybody else want to volunteer?
yeah.
Okay, we have someone.
Oh, wonderful.
Renee.
Renee Keel. He'll be happy. He only has to do K.
Yeah.
You get a new beside your name as well. Okay, that's wonderful.
2 E's of the egg.
Ah, can't win.
Excuse me, that's so the E.
We'll have a French keyboard.
Okay, we're doing well. Anybody else? Okay, so I think what I have to do is say it 3 times. So, any further nominations from the floor? Any further nominations? Last chance? Any further nominations? Okay, I can close the nominations. Does someone have to, I move to close the nominations?
No, but you can move the slip.
So I can, move that we
You
accept.
accept the slip.
I move that we accept the new board candidates. Well, or the,
The slate.
Second, somebody want a second? Brenda House,
And would you like to call it?
so. I have to call the question?
Yeah. So all in favor?
Oh, okay, sorry. All in favor of new board? Everyone get your hand up. Okay, excellent. I'm gonna say all in favor. Okay.
You did a great job, Briar. Thank you so much. We convince you to do this every year. So we really appreciate it.
But my excuse to not go back on the board, well, if I'm on the board, I can't run the election.
You're gonna get
Right.
it back sooner than later.
Okay, are you up?
Yeah, I can totally moderate.
So the next, thank you very much to Nicholas and Renee and to every, who are now new joining the board and to everybody else who agreed to carry on. It's nice to keep us at 12, which is great. Means when we boil a dozen eggs, we don't have to buy 2 dozen. Anyway, sorry, that made no sense. I'll now ask Anita Quinton to come and lead the open discussion room. Moderate the open discussion.
I love this part. So, hold on, I'm getting my phone, my friends, because we're gonna put about a 20-minute timer on this. Just because I think we can do a lot in 20 minutes, and I think, I believe that we can have some really good conversations in 20 minutes, and if we need to go longer, of course we will. But hold on one second, I gotta get my timer, I'm so sorry. I need to look at my face. Okay.
As, you know, person
I don't-
leading the elections.
I don't think I need to be behind here. Y'all can hear me probably, can't you? Yeah. Okay, so first off, Briar, you have your hand up?
Yes.
Okay, let's,
So I guess I wasn't here at the very beginning. Well, Brenda, you weren't here, but just so everyone knows, Brenda Halling came in and she's our board representative. And Sheila's here from the provincial government. And did you do this already?
no, we did not.
You didn't? Okay, and I believe. Tom Davis. Tom Davis. Okay.
Forecast.
That's right. I just saw your photo in my city magazine, so I mean, I just can't remember your name.
Houses in the ward.
Yeah, we have a few.
Well, welcome to the meeting. I'm so glad you all came. And I think what came up in Elizabeth's, presentation was that, and this came up during the municipal election as well, actually at the neighborhood barbecue where you crossed paths, not with Sheila, but with the Liberal candidate who was running. And you said to him, Brenda, you said, let's work together to, on the mental health issues, the addiction issues, in the city. And so, and I think the discussion was, and correct me if I'm wrong, was that there hadn't been a lot of coordination between the provincial and city governments when it comes to stuff like that. And so I'm wondering if we have a new city government, new provincial government, have you started talking to each other about this? Okay, so.
Thank you, Briar. Oh, and then Sheila had her hand up, and then Brenda, it's gonna be you, my friend.
Yes, I just want to introduce myself and thank you, Briar, for doing that. So many of you know me and I know you because I've been around for a long time. I live on Newtown Road. I've lived there for 26 years. I'm a neighbor and we consider ourselves the Annex Belvedere Neighborhood Association. But anyway, I love Georgetown and it's been a big part of my life for a long time.
So that's me as an individual and family, but I am grateful and privileged to be the MHA for this particular district now.
Yay! Thank you.
From the city. So it's a bit of a challenge for me now to kind of turn off the city, but I'm doing it. But I'm really happy that, first of all, to see my colleagues here, former colleagues, but continued colleagues. Councillor Tom Davis and I got an opportunity to work together, and we will continue to. And I'm so stoked about Brenda Pally being the new Ward 2 councillor, because we needed to have a really strong ward councillor in this area for some time. And that's not to diminish any of the work that has happened or the advocacy. But I know firsthand that a lot of the constituency work fell into my lap and to others. And so it's really great to have somebody who's proactive in this role. So I'm really excited about that. And yes, me and Brenda have been having chats for a long time, and other council members. I mean, I have a great working relationship, and that's one of the most exciting things for me is that now all of a sudden there's an opportunity to have cross-government conversations. So Brenda and I have been texting back and forth for quite some time, and of course Nikita Ryle as well too. Tom, I stay in contact with Tom on a regular basis, and I have asked to have a meeting with the ward councillor and the mayor. So these kind of conversations are going to happen. I'm just very, very excited about that because that was some frustration of mine from the municipal vantage point, was that we felt ignored from the MHAs. Now, I'm not government. I'm the third-party critic for the NDP, but myself and Jim Din, I guarantee you, are going to have a very strong voice for the representatives, for the constituents of this district, and he certainly in center. And so I'm available if you need me. And I want to stand up here. I want to introduce to you. This is my constituency assistant, just newly hot off the press. So I'm proud of her. This is Anna, and she's just fantastic. Anna Kane. And so you're going to see a lot of Anna around too. She's very enthusiastic, and I can't wait to work with her. And so, yeah, so 2 for 1. And yes, we will continue to work there. And government is a bit wonky right now. We could talk about that on a whole bunch of different levels, but it's hard to get any information right now about how to access your ministers or anything like that. We don't know what's going on. I'm drinking from a fire hose right now to acquire new information. But you know what? We know what the work is, and the work is to represent the constituents of this area. So, you know what? We're here for you. That's what I want to say. And thank you.
Thank you, Sheila. Did anybody want to add in? Go ahead.
I just want to say thank you and welcome to Sheila. To Sheila's point, when I haven't been in council very long, since spring of 2024, one of the first things I observed was a dysfunctional relationship between the province and with the city. It is not a partnership. It is improved, particularly the relationship with the city and the RNC is really dramatically improved. Chief Rhodes was here earlier to the first night gathering, and I spoke to him, and he said, "Here's my number. You know, what can we do to help us?" So that's very positive. Of course, the governing conservatives do not really have any representation within the city, with the exception of O'Driscoll, which just kind of touches the Goulds. So that's another challenge, but it didn't seem to make much difference. Where the Liberals had lots of MHAs and cabinet ministers within the province, within the city. So, I mean, what I would call on the residents is to reach out to your MHAs and to the cabinet ministers and to the premier and obviously to the municipal representatives to call for that sort of collaboration, because from a societal point of view, what a lot of people are referring to problems, they're actually symptoms of far greater problems. You know, a lot of it is the dysfunction that's happening family level, community level, and within the individuals. And we really have to be able to have these difficult conversations. And part of it is calling on all your elected representatives, but also looking in the mirror and within these great community associations. So, I mean, I'm a resource. I'm someone who will speak strongly, but again, it's a bigger challenge. But we need to call on our leaders who we've elected to deal with it and lead it head on. But again, I'm an asset, and I appreciate everything you guys do. It's beautiful to see this sort of community, which was throughout my war of life, but it's not possible. Okay.
Okay, Brenda.
Hi. Just gonna stand up now. Thanks, Phil. I'm delighted to see Tom here. So I'm just new to Ward 2. and your representative. I lived in Georgetown for 60 years, so not new to Georgetown. I love the neighborhood. Feel like I've evolved and grown with it. And I'm really feeling very privileged that I was elected for your Ward 2 representative. And I don't take it lightly. Sometimes it keeps me up at night. But, you know, to Sheila's point and Tom's point, Sheila and I have been texting back and forth. And when John Whalen came to the barbecue, Sheila and I had slung hot dogs that day together. Sheila had something on the go that night. And then John asked me if, you know, if we got in, if I was willing to work. And my answer was, I was going to work for the people of Ward 2. So whoever I had to work with, that's who I was going to work with. I sort of had a feeling that Sheila was going to be the person I was going to work with, and I'm delighted. And I think we're going to do some work together. So Sheila reached out on Friday night, thank you for that, Sheila, and said, we have to get a meeting. So the meeting, you know, we've confirmed that we're back and forth. Tom, being my, you know, new coworker that I've been really enjoying, Tom has a great, strong voice and really wants to get at the root causes, right? So Elizabeth, I just wanted to reference something you said about the gathering place. I worked there for 4 years as a social worker. I'm a registered social worker, so I'm pretty familiar with, you know, root causes and how we get to places. I think that one of the things you did say is absolutely correct. I think that the health authority has probably, in some ways, turned its back on, oh, the gathering place can do it, and we're going to fund them some money, and they can write grants for other money and things like that. But the gathering place, when the sisters started it as a charitable model, right? So we're going to feed the poor, right? And they're, you know, they were, that's just the mission that they followed, and we might even wash their feet, I don't know. But, you know, we started with that, and well, sort of the work of Jesus, but being a little facetious, but we can, like, that's good work to do, and we do need charity, but we can't just do charity. Charity in and of itself is getting us in trouble. So what is happening at the gathering place, what's happened when I was there, and then I left, was that people come in and they do get fed, and their basic needs are getting met, and those are good things. But then, because the place is full, they're asked to leave, or they saunter out. They go to Father Walsh's field there, and they use, right? They pass out or not. They're probably getting assaulted about every 38 seconds, is what we know. And then they come, and then they're welcomed back in for when they get hungry again. And what I've said during my campaign, and what I say now, is that as a society, we can do better. When we sit and watch people pass out under trees and get assaulted, and then come in, and then they have to speak to the social worker upstairs, or get examined by one of the doctors, or, you know, have a kid, you know, or whatever, all the things. So we're leaving people there. And so the charitable model does not work. I think we're increasing people's risks. So what I said today in council, I'll say it again today, you know, a home and a thing to do during the day. We haven't given people anything to do during the day. So if you have nothing to do during the day, right? We have acronyms for everything, but hungry, angry, lonely, tired, halt. We will use, we'll drink, we'll drug, we'll gamble, we'll do all three. And then addiction is progressive, right? So every time you do it, it's going to get worse, right? There's no relapse that has turned out to be a good one that I know in my years of doing it. So I think that we need to now shake Tony Wake's government, and I know the politics that they share are probably not mine, but that's okay. We want to shake the government. We need to send the letters, make the phone calls, and say, you know what? You're elected now, and you need to help us with this. It's affecting lots of folks in Georgetown. I've been the recipient of the calls whose families are afraid. People who actually live next to George's Field are afraid. And people are defecating on their steps, actually. And when they ask them to please stop, they get told to, you know, F off. So that is really, you know, it's not respectful. So what I've said on the campaign trail is, how do we share the space in a respectful way? That's what I asked every single person. That's what we need to do. And addiction or not, we need to hold people accountable. And even as a social worker that did that work for over 28 years, I always held people accountable. The addiction is one piece, but you have to, you know, hold yourself accountable and not, you know, defecate on someone's steps or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, so we're having the conversations, but, you know, Tony, or what's his name, Paul Davis is stepping down from the gathering place. So they'll be getting a new leader. We need to figure out who that is. I don't know if it's public yet. I happen to know, but I'm not sure if I can say it, so I won't. I don't want to get in that much trouble this early in the game. We'll not
Do
say
it.
that. But I do know the person's name, and so I've just asked for a meeting. Just tonight, I sent an email and said, I understand this is the new person. I'd like to be at the table. I should have been at the table already. I understand there was one meeting. So it's Kim Grant is the assistant executive director, and then the new person coming.
So the new person is not known yet. Okay.
Well.
Not
it's
officially.
it's not- So those are a few things, but you know what? I think much to Tom's point, everybody who can email, I think you need to start sending the emails to Tony Wakeham and
Okay.
say, we need meetings that involve our community
Mhm.
with the gathering place, because they're our neighbors,
Yeah.
but we need to talk.
I totally agree with you, and all comes back to this need all departments to start working together.
Absolutely.
Problem,
Yeah.
which cannot be handled.
Yeah, absolutely. So I need, what I'm saying is for people to get on their emails, to call their phones and say to Tony Wakeham, because we don't have many PCs here in town, right? We need you to appoint people. We need it done now.
And
We're in a
crisis,
crisis.
copy your MHA as
Copy.
well, so that way I can have an opportunity
Yeah.
to speak.
And email me and copy it to the mayor.
So I have a nuts and bolts question about doing that, because I recently engaged in an email writing campaign for my work. And your email bounced back to me, because I didn't know exactly what it was, and I didn't involve the city, but I'm just wondering, do the counselors have like a set, like, is it gonna be Brenda.Howie at some?
The Alley
website?
at stjohns.ca.
Okay, and that's the same.
And it is all, you go to the website or telephone number, any email,
And
but it is first name and last name.
Okay.
Unlike,
Yeah.
and she was the only exception apparently that's got first name, her initial.
Yes, because the provincial government now, of course, the government changed, was a massive transition, and they still don't even, you can't even get some of the ministers'
It's
emails.
only,
ready to
there's only
go.
phone numbers. I was amazed.
Yeah, so-
When I looked.
But
So-
it's because of the massive transition that it is
Yeah.
often accessible for people. I'm trying to find out some of the numbers of
Yeah.
people.
The
who are-
Premier is easy, premier at
Yes.
nl.gov.
But I do have an email, and
Changed.
it's changed.
The whole.
They changed everything. That's what I'm trying to impress upon you, is that there's a transition that's happening as a result of a whole new government. They've changed departments, they've changed ministers, they've changed deputy ministers. They've changed, there's a whole massive reworking happening right now. And, you know, aside from the fact that there's a whole gaggle of new MHAs now who are being trained in, many who have no political experience whatsoever. And so my constituency assistant just got hired 2 days ago, right? 2 days ago. So she just got her email. You know, so it's very, even though the government is there, it's very much a caretaker, kind of trying to get up and running, because it's been 10 years of liberal government, and then
It's not, you can't even use premier at nl.
I think they changed
So-
it all around.
assembly,
It's assembly.nl.
yeah, assembly.nl.ca. They changed everything in the House of Assembly to instead of gov.nl, anything pertaining to MHAs or ministers is at assembly.nl.ca.
Is it their full name?
No, it depends, it all depends.
In most cases, it's
Most
first
cases
name,
it
last
is
name.
both names, but I have Ethel Leary because maybe nobody wanted to spell my name.
It occurred to me that maybe I have.
It's the troublemakers like these, but in any case, that will all resolve soon enough. You're not gonna be without contacts for very long. That's gonna be remedied, I'm sure that by next week. That's what it is, but again, that's government. That's nobody else, and they have to kind of deal with that.
Okay, so what I hear us saying is that we want to have representation with our government. We are gonna have to give it a hot second for things to get up and running.
Yeah.
But we want to be copying the city, we want to be talking to our MHAs, and we need to be focused primarily on our new government head, who's Tony Wakeham.
Yeah.
Because we don't have a lot of PC representation in
No,
the city. So therefore, give it a hot second, maybe, who knows, maybe we'll put a post on Facebook or on Instagram, like once that's up and running, like if you have concerns, here we go, here's where you can find those things. Maybe that would be helpful.
The airwaves, like, come on, phone into Patty Daly, Tom is on.
That
all
is
the time.
true.
I haven't catch up with Tom, but get on Patty Daly and say, we don't have, no one from the PC government has come to speak to our community. We don't know who the representative is to deal with
Right.
the issue problem or the crisis that we find ourselves in. Because that's what it is.
Thank you all so much for you're very thorough, and I really appreciate it. Is there anything else? I feel like that was really well thought out, and I think we have an action plan. Sheila?
I wanted to just mention now, I'll take off this hat and come on as resident.
Okay.
Belvedere Laneway. Just think it's extremely important. There's been a lot of action and a lot of issues going on there, and I take the lead in my community alongside a couple neighbors to represent people in that neck of the woods. Of course, I'm off the city vantage point, but it's still a neighborhood.
Right.
And I'm going to still be advocating. And so, of course, as many know, Belvedere Laneway was expanded because of the city, the deputy city manager of regulatory services, planning and engineering dictated that this had to happen for safety purposes for the existing density that is already there on Margaret's Place.
Okay.
So that was some disturbance for a lot of people. A lot of trees came down, et
Right.
cetera. But I think there's a much larger issue on the table right now, which is Margaret's Manor. And Margaret's Manor has been vacant for a period of time. The windows are getting smashed out. There have been people who have been squatting, living in there.
Assumption Common.
Yes.
Assumption Common.
Yeah, Assumption Common.
Last owners, the Belvedere Retirement Home.
Okay, here you go.
So, yeah, I was on the phone about this tonight.
Yes,
The abandoned building behind.
behind. And of course, we had a fire
And
there.
we had a fire there on Saturday night.
Oh,
And
And-
so, right next to it, right, you have Holy Heart.
Yeah.
Right.
Children go there, and you have Brother Rice. So you have like 6,000 kids right next to this building that caught fire on Saturday night. There's squatters in there. While I was on the campaign trail, myself and a few people went up and sort of poked around, and there was a double mattress, alcohol tins, bottles, cigarettes, and so on. They had barred off the entrance or doorway, but that was open. You could see. So what we imagined was squatters went in,
Yeah.
lit a fire because it's cold.
Right.
And, so that's something else to
Mhm.
really phone the government about to say, so Kingsway own it, it's the name of the company. And my intention is to call them tomorrow morning. I just got the person's name and number tonight. To call them, but somebody has already called, and they're pretty tight with their information. They didn't know it was on fire, which I can't imagine, but anyway, they didn't know it was on fire, number one. Number two, I'm gonna be calling them tomorrow morning to ask them what their intention is with the building. And if they don't have any intention, then they should sell it and sell it to someone who has the ability and want to refurbish it.
Mhm.
That was 20 bedrooms with shared bathrooms, or I'm not sure, but it was 30, but in a housing crisis, it's very
Right.
unethical, right, to leave it like that. And in 2004, this woman Karen, who's the CEO, was on CBC and interviewed to say that they were pushing everybody out, refurbishing, and they were gonna open it up again.
and that never happened.
And there's no permit that has gone into City Hall for any refurbishing, right?
Mhm.
That was since 2007, I think I said 2004. So nothing has gone into the city for that. So,
Yeah, and if I could just jump in, the reality is the city has no authority at this stage of the game to be able to make developers do X, Y, Z, or anything. We all know this story. We've been down this road before with this organization. So the reality is the responsibility, and I hate to put it on your shoulders, people, because I'm now out of it, but I'm here to work with you. But the reality is it falls completely within the city's powers to be the legislator, to want to be the regulator, to be the one. And so that's why the City Act really is always being discussed as the updated city act, to be able to give legislative control to the city to do a number of different things with developers, including potentially creating bylaws so that you have to enforce affordable components or percentages in every bill or specific. Right now, there's no specifications to do anything, so it's very
So you
little
have to get
authority.
that legislation first.
Yeah, so the
Because at this point,
legislation is gonna be the key, so
you can't
if
do
you
anything.
put on the pressure around the city act and getting that renewed, and that's certainly what I can do with, in conjunction with the city to try to elevate it, then that will give the city more control to do the things that we really wanna do with our
And
neighborhood.
those are the calls, in my opinion, 2 calls to Tony Wiggins' office to say, you need to appoint 1 or 2 people to get this city's act updated. Ours still has horse and buggy references in it, so we can't do anything,
Yeah.
really. And they've been working on it for 6 years, which I think is ludicrous. Number 2, and I guess it's a lot of work, so I shouldn't say ludicrous. But the other piece is that we, the city, because it has no teeth to its act, buildings can just sit there
Yeah.
until they fall over. And I think for 2 things: A, it attracts squatters and buyers. Nothing good happens with an empty building. I said it here on that stage. And I also say that beyond an empty building where there's terrible things happening, we have an emergency housing crisis right now. And that building, 2004, my mother was going to move into it for a retirement place, and she ended up finding something different. But it's a beautiful building, and the nuns didn't, you know, they weren't chintzy on designing their own buildings where they might have to go
Right.
2 years down the road. So their buildings, like the structure of it is a good structure.
So good bones.
But the windows are beaten out and they're,
And it becomes demolition by neglect.
and demolition
Yeah,
by neglect.
yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's what people, constituents, call in and say, you know what? No longer is this acceptable. This is unacceptable.
What's the
Right.
zoning, Brandon? What's the zoning for?
It had seniors living in it. So it was like 20 rooms, and I guess there were 10 bathrooms, because there were shared bathrooms. And it had, when I was up poking around, it had a beautiful, not a greenhouse, but a beautiful garden, raised garden bed, so it's all, you know.
So it's not even adapted for use, it's actually.
Well, it should have been refurbished back in 2007, now it needs a lot more work.
Right, so a bit more TLC needs to go into it.
Well, that's the other thing. But, you know, I think to myself, boys, in a housing crisis with
I
people
know.
literally sleeping under trees
Yeah.
and being assaulted often,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
They walk that way. Still sitting there. Dirty, like, I'm just, every week, every, you know.
So Allison, are you saying that it didn't change with the blocking
It
of the?
changed, the sales that went on right behind, my backyard got stopped. But the usage of it-
That's interesting,
Yeah,
okay.
so they're just throwing something over the barbed wire, pumpkin fence.
so it's funny, Greg, we say to people, use clean needle, right? We always say, use clean needles, don't use alone, don't forget your no some kid. And the last thing, we don't say around here. Where are you gonna use? Like, I have a glass of wine at my house. I don't get kicked out to have a glass of wine. I don't need to walk down Baxter Street to have a glass, and probably get arrested. I'm allowed to use my own house, right? My wine. So I said this sort of, I had this conversation the other day. People that need to use to stay alive are getting kicked out. There's no safe space
You know, I was wondering, are there?
to use. Not here. There's one traveling sort of bus that we have at Eastern Health, and it travels. I mean, it's one bus, so, you know, you're traveling around.
There is an organization working
It's a
on
pop-up
that.
tent.
Oh, is that, yeah, actually, they said that. They said, we have a tent and it's getting cold, we really would like a furnace.
Yeah, so it's a community organization. They look lovely. I can't remember their names. I made them at the pride parade.
Yeah,
It escapes me. It'll come back to me about midnight. But like in Halifax, for example, the government, provincial and federal governments, they didn't want to say, here's money and have their health authority open up a safe injection site. They just weren't doing it, period.
Right.
So what they did there is that I guess there was transfer of money and community organizations came together, groups, right? And opened it with transfer money from various governments, so feds did some, provincial did some. That's what they did in Halifax. But, you know, you need various, like, one is not gonna do it. Because I'm not gonna say to someone now, Elizabeth, don't use here by the gathering place. Get yourself 2 buses and get yourself out by the village and you can use there. Well, naturally, you're gonna tell me where to go with directions, right? Because you need to use pretty well right then. So we need to figure out safe spaces where people can use, and then they dispose of their needle inside, right? Having said all that, people in this area feel like we're saturated with services, right? So, you know, I think that's sort of some good conversation where people can come together and say, where can these be? Does one travel? Is there one in sort of Center City by St. Clair's? Is there one wherever? You know, you need a few, basically.
Where people actually need to go further. We also need safe drugs.
Well, we have a dirty drug supply, yeah, right. So
What are those crucial?
it is crucial, yeah. And that's really the RNC then, isn't it? They're on, like, where's it coming in? They have some good ideas. They've given us ideas where, what parts of the problem. Yeah,
Yeah.
Because it's gonna change our mentality about the whole issue.
Right, but now you have a new government in. Right. What I hear from Tony Wakeham is tough on drugs. Jail, jail, jail. But we're down at the jail and they're being plumbed for.
Yeah.
We do better in third world countries, right? I teach yoga down in prison once a week. And, you know, I think what they live in, I think, is scandalous. And I also think that people are very patient to live in that state and still, you know, not misbehave, right?
So I just want to say, y'all have brought up some really great stuff. Hold on one second, Patrick. So I just want to say, what I'm hearing is that we need to continue to shake down the newest government, because that's the most important thing. Because if we want change, and I think why you're here, why you're volunteering, and why you're going to be on the board is for those reasons. And so for the people on Facebook and for the people here, it's like, it is super important if you want to make those positive changes to contact our government. And it may take a moment, but make sure that we keep shaking them down, because really we want change and there's a lot to be done. But, you know, that's why we're here. We care. And so we'll make a difference that way.
And ask for the provincial government to include the municipal.
Yeah,
government.
and so-
You've had a terrible relationship for years. Nothing was done.
Yeah.
So you were ineffective in that way. So now is your time.
So it's a good time, like in general, it's a good time. Let's go ahead and get us together. Now, Patrick, what would you like to say?
Oh, we are a very historic neighborhood.
Yes.
And in fact, we're St. John's first suburb. And we have a lot of traditions and customs in this neighborhood. And one of the longer standing ones is every AGM, I must put on the agenda parking.
Yes, I know. I knew you were coming. All right.
So I think we've discussed a lot of heavy issues tonight.
Yes.
That, of course, take precedence over parking sometimes. So I just noted on the agenda.
Noted on the agenda.
We'll move on.
It is noted. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Patrick.
I think what minutes need to read is that Patrick reiterated that the parking problem in Georgetown has not yet been solved.
That is true. That is true.
And it would be true.
And it would be true. All right. Thank y'all so much for coming and bringing your concerns. We are pretty much out of time because we have to go to bed at some time and people have been having a long day. But I just want to thank you for your time and your effort to come here and spending time with your neighbors and trying to discuss these hard things, but trying to make a difference. So thanks a lot. Now it's time for door prizes, which is like, we say thank you, and now it's time for door prizes. So did everyone who was here got to put their name in here?
Oh, that was very good.
And I just want to say thank you to the board for all your ongoing efforts and work, you know.
Yeah, they're doing such a good job. Well done.
So as you can see, we have 3 different door prizes. 2 are plants and 1 is chocolate. I know, we went crazy. The chocolate is for someone who thinks that they're a plant murderer.
Yes.
So we have a very lovely poinsettia, useful to know if you have cats, not for you. A rose, much safer for cats, and chocolate, you won't share it with your cat, but.
Or your dog.
Or your dog.
Yeah, don't
No,
share it with
but
your
that's easier to solve.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I think what we'll do is that whoever is pulled first can choose what they want, and then
Yep, and we'll just go
down
from
from
there.
there. So,
I'll choose.
yeah, you can
I-
choose. There you go.
Okay, are they two?
No, there should be, well, I
Okay,
don't.
Here we go. David T. David T.
David Thompson.
David Thompson. Which one do you want?
That's a difficult choice.
I know, it is difficult. Good.
I think I'll go for.
I think it's really in season, so there you go.
Yes,
Thank you very
excellent.
much.
It is a very nice looking poinsettia, I have to say.
Okay, yay. Do another one.
Right.
Aaron Keo.
Yay.
Yay. No, okay, I just feel like, well, I am so happy for you. Hey, are you gonna go for the chocolate or the rose? Oh, got it. Okay.
All right. So whoever's left. The nice thing that this is a charming little gift basket, so that if you don't want it for yourself, it's easy to pass it along to somebody else.
That's true.
If you need if you're going out to dinner, need a little gift.
Okay, Nicholas Keo, our newest
Well,
board member.
seems to be a All right, and that brings us to the important point. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
I got
Thank you very much. So please, have some cake.
Please eat the cake.
Please eat the cake.
Or take it with you.
Yes.
Give it to a friend.
Or have some other treats. And thank you again very much for coming. And next year we will have proper minutes.
Oh, definitely.
Right?
It will happen. This is why I'm off the. It's probably me. I'm so sorry, Michael.
Anyway.
All right. Thanks for doing all of the technology stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, the forms with the committee that was in fact community building.
Sorry.
That's a
Okay, perfect, awesome. Oh,
I just don't know. No, well, he suggested that the like access to information inside people at least maybe so you can't request access to information.
We really are having conversation.
So whenever they
Are you doing the minutes? Are you?
Well, I have the video, and when I saw it, then I just said,
You run it through
I could, yeah.
through the transcript. That was helpful when I did that comment. I just had to do it.
Yeah, and I probably will then use some AI.
Yeah.
Give me the transcript.
I ran it. Uploaded it. Alright. Well, YouTube does it. I don't know.
I think that's, yeah.
Upload.